My childhood dream is to become a soldier.
Ah.
Halfway through my training, I had to be medically discharged.
I majored in French Lit. I was a property agent and I was in translation.
The friends that I've graduated with in uni, they are doing pretty well in their job already. And am I not fully utilizing this degree that I've had?
Hi everyone, welcome to Tea Talks, a series where we trade tea for stories on the streets.
Yep.
And today, before we start, a special shout out to Subway for sponsoring today's episode.
We're going to be talking about dreams
Right.
and some of the dreams that we maybe had to give up when we were young. So, Adele, what was your childhood dream?
Wow, my childhood dream. My childhood dream is to become a soldier.
Ah, wow.
Ever since I was young, I watched the movie Army Days on repeat. And whenever my dad comes home from the service, right, I'll be so excited to try on his gears and I would just be so fascinated about it. Because I guess I
Wow.
wanted to be a part of, a force to defend something, my
Right.
country. So I'm always like super patriotic so
Wow.
call me Singapore. Yeah.
You are obviously not in the army right now. So, what
Right.
happened to that dream?
I guess I was really fortunate because I was able to enlist twice.
Oh, wow.
I joined once as a SAF volunteer.
Okay.
And the second time I enlisted as a regular.
Ah.
But life don't always work out the way that we want to because halfway through my training when I was in OCS, I was sick and I had to be medically discharged. Initially, I thought I was okay with it, but after I left the force, it sort of hit me then to realize that, oh my gosh, this is it. In this lifetime, I will not be able to fulfill this dream of becoming an officer. And I guess that period was really difficult because I was struggling physically. I lost a lot of weight, but I was more upset at my body for not being able to pull through. And I was sort of beating myself up
Right.
for living. Life is funny like this. It leads you to, somewhere that you might not even know where you might
Right.
be, like me being here today. Initially, I found it really hard to accept that I had to leave. So my duffel bag, my fuel pack and everything, I don't really dare to unpack them because those are like the only memories I have of the
Right.
dream. Right now, if my friend need a helmet, I give my helmet to my friend.
Okay.
So in a way, my friend is still using my equipment throughout her service So I think
Right.
it's quite cute that
Okay.
that I'm still able
There's still
to.
memories of
Yeah,
you.
there's still memories
like-
of me lingering around.
So, Adele, today we have a special guest.
Yes, we do.
And we're going to welcome him in right now.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
What do you do, Alfred?
Okay, so I started out as a graphic designer and then I started doing a little bit of singing and acting as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually now a singer.
What was the first dream you pursued?
So I was quite firm that I'm going to do design. But then I got my first exposure to like a pretty big scale audition in Singapore. It was the JYP Alpha audition. So I think they had auditions in a few different countries. I feel that was the first time, having this dream of like doing dancing, performing, kind of becomes a bit more concrete and a bit more
Okay.
feasible. For a while I was doing that until, long story short, until I had to face some national service enlistment issues. And then after my enlistment in NS, I went on to
Okay.
pursue my degree in graphic communications. I feel like in Singapore, pretty sadly, personally, I feel that we are not really given the environment to kind of think that a career out of something in music is possible.
It's a scary dream to
It
have.
is, yeah. The conventional dream is to, be able to afford certain things like house or car or provide a partner by a certain age. So being in army for 2 years did kind of shape my thinking a little bit.
Do you regret putting that 7 years on pause?
I would say the biggest regret is kind of not, youth is wealth lah. Especially in this industry, a lot of people always, talk about like age is a huge factor.
Right.
So I kind of wish that during those years, I was a little bit more aggressive and hungry towards things that I wanted to achieve.
Right.
So when I was 27, I remember being quite self-consumed lah. Like I was going through a lot in my mind, like, am I too late on this journey? The friends that I've graduated with in uni, they are doing pretty well in their job already. And am I not fully utilizing this degree that I've had? But thankfully, within those years, I was still doing like dance recitals, covers and all, which kind of like assured me that this is something that I'm really passionate about growing up. as long as you're certain with what you like to do and something that you're working towards your passion, I feel that it's a happy problem.
Right. I feel you. I feel like when I was younger, I also like creative stuff, arts industry and all that. And then all my friends were actually going to study theatre and like go into like musicals and do that. And that's kind of one of my dreams as well.
So did you
Yeah.
end up doing theatre?
I did not
You did
actually.
not.
I did not do theatre.
Wish that you had done it?
I would say it's interesting because now I get to do more like stories and more like scripting, ideating,
Right.
directing
Yep.
type stuff. I realized I didn't need to feel that fame from like
Yep.
being in front of
Yeah.
the camera and all that. But
Definitely.
I felt like, oh, I can make a much more better impact behind the camera.
It's interesting you brought that up because even for myself, when I was doing graphic design, I also meddled a little bit into production.
Does it help you with the dream that you are pursuing right now?
Definitely, I feel that if it's not for all these experiences, if I didn't go to uni, maybe my thinking would not be shaped the way it is now. In fact, I think one of the most exciting thing that I enjoy, pursuing this industry is that it's kind of very uncertain. But for me, I'm driven by the adrenaline.
Right.
So a lot of times, not knowing like where my career could turn to, like it could suddenly be a huge, great year for me, and maybe the next one is not so much. I think that excites me and push me through a little bit. However, I think it's still important, to be realistic, to set milestones and goals. So personally, I like to set goals in the span of like 2 years. Now I would say I hope to be able to release a full EP, because after releasing my first single, I feel a lot of satisfaction and it makes me feel very alive lah. And I'm more certain than ever that this is something that keeps me going.
Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Alfred. And yeah, we wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me. It's nice to hear your story as well.
Yeah, it was nice to hear.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I was very encouraged sharing your story. So thank you for sharing all your insights and all that.
So we got a guest that's
Yes.
ready to join us. So shall we
Exactly.
invite him in? For yourself, do you have any childhood dream?
Yeah, so like one of the things that I remember is that when I was about to graduate from primary school, I wrote that I wanted to become a manga artist. So it's like One Piece and Dragon Ball and stuff, right? Because actually my dad is an artist over there in Japan, so he draws. He's been drawing for over how many years now? I don't know, 36 years.
So what happened after primary school then?
Drawing is not something that you may practice, but you may not become very, very good at. I didn't really go into it too much because I knew I wasn't gonna be very, very good.
So is that still something that you want to do?
I don't think so. I mean, I know how hard it is because I've watched him work like 24/7, sometimes Saturday.
Right. So may I ask, like, what are you doing right now?
Currently, I'm in the digital marketing part of things, like a sales team. I majored in French lit. So I speak French.
Lit.
Yes.
So your
Okay.
degree is in French lit.
Yes, correct.
So why didn't you pursue further after that?
I realized that I love the language, but still using the skill like communication and language, I was able to do different things such as digital marketing because I've done different things like I was a property agent and I was in translation. So I didn't really have to focus on one industry, but still I was using my skill from college and past stage to apply to what I do every day now.
So is it right to say like your dream is not necessarily tied to a profession or like a goal that you
Correct.
want to achieve by a
Right.
certain time?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people are lost, which I totally understand. I've been there.
What makes you the most fulfilled?
Whenever I meet the people that I had never met, it always makes me feel really good. And I realized that, because when I was little, I wasn't able to speak any other language, just Japanese. And now that I can speak English and I can converse with you guys, yeah, I always enjoy it.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, hello. Thank you.
So do you happen to have any dreams that you had to give up?
Yes, during my army days, I supposed to complete the Taekwondo course,
Ooh,
but due to some marathon running,
okay.
I cannot complete. So
Right.
after already been working like that, it passed 30 years. Then finally, I make up my mind to sign up a Taekwondo course.
May I know what belt do you have? Like what?
Right now I'm black belt 1 dan.
Black belt 1 dan. Wow.
Wow.
I used to be in Taekwondo,
Ah.
but I stopped at yellow belt.
They call yellow belt a banana belt, you see.
I am a banana belt. Okay, I tried my best. How much time do you spend at work though back then?
Wow, I think 10 to 12 hours a day, man.
Oh wow.
Do you have off days?
Off day?
Like,
What is
oh.
that?
Oh no.
I think at around age 39 or 38, overstressed, I dropped
Wow.
because non-stop working for 12 hours a day. I really call my wife. It's so urgent. You just call any psychiatry.
What happened?
You want to walk out from a meeting, that kind of thing. Then I go and see doctor. I go and rest. I think I totally read about 20 books about depression.
Was it during that period of time where you had a lot of me time that you slowly start to think about Taekwondo again?
Yes, I thinking of what do I want? What do I want in life? I start to look at all my photo, okay, childhood photo. I keep on actually searching for myself. Sometimes success is not the most important thing. I think it's feel good about you are not wasted for
Right.
your lifetime.
So do you have any last advice for people who are in their 20s right now?
Don't be too busy, okay? For the younger generation or anyone. Doing nothing, just soul searching, think about what you want, that kind of thing.
Respect to that.
Thank you so much for joining us, Uncle Tay. I thought that was quite inspiring because, like, I feel like a lot of people, you know, you resign yourself to your fate and you feel like, okay, this is like, I'm too old to chase this. But I think he shows us how, like, you can still, if you set your mind to it, you can do it. So, Adele, are you inspired to dream again?
I am inspired in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do not have a definite dream
Mm-hmm.
because I realize that life, you know, it just happens. And right now, I just want to be a good person, a kind person, and see where life takes me. I guess that's my dream,
Wow.
to live a life that is, you know, impactful for others. Yeah, wow, that's my dream.
You? Wow, she just birthed a
I
new
just
dream.
birthed a new
on
dream
Tea
to be a good
Talks.
person.
Wow. And once again, thank you to Subway for sponsoring this episode today.
Yes, thank you.
We had such an insightful conversation. I'm excited to see what the future holds
for us, for everyone.
for
right?
everyone. Yeah.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us.
And if you see us on the streets,
Feel free to join us for some tea.
exactly. So till the next one. Bye.
Bye bye.